Thank you, Senator Toomey. Senator Tester is recognized for 5 minutes from Montana.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look, your testimony highlighted important work of countering China's unfair trade practices. And it is true they are the pacing threat to us in the world today. It's a key focus of mine in the Defense Subcommittee, which I chair. And it's why I pushed so hard to get the bipartisan infrastructure bill across the finish line in the Senate. We'll continue to push to get it across the finish line in the House. But from your perspective, as your role as Deputy Secretary, what is the most effective way to address what China is doing with particularly currency manipulation?
Senator, thank you for the question, and thank you for your work on those important issues. My view is that the most important thing that we can do with regard to competing with China is making the investments in the United States that you've taken a leadership role on, like the infrastructure bill that has passed the Senate and is currently in the House. In terms of the issue of currency manipulation, the President and the Secretary have been very clear that we will not allow any country to unfairly use its currency to push for more exports. As you know, on a semi-annual basis, the Treasury Department puts out a report on foreign exchange intervention that highlights countries that violate the international rules in this area. When it comes to China, we are committed to holding them accountable for all of their unfair actions, both unilaterally in the United States, but also working multilaterally with our allies and our partners, because we know that fundamentally the actions that China take don't only hurt American consumers and American workers, but they hurt the American workers around and consumers around the world.
So let me ask you this. Is there anything that you need from Congress, specifically this committee, any additional authorities?
Senator, at the moment, I think that Congress providing us with the authorities to pull together the foreign exchange report is what we need. We're working actively with the USTR and other agencies within the government to use our tools to hold China and others accountable, and we look forward to continuing to consult with you if there are additional authorities that we need.
Okay. From a standpoint of cryptocurrency, has that changed how the Treasury Department deals with sanctions?
Senator, as we highlighted in the sanctions review, cryptocurrencies has required us to look at ways that we can try to deal with potential sanctions evasions. And we have highlighted this by taking certain actions with regard to crypto actors who are using this means of payment for things like ransomware. It'll require us to also invest more in different parts of our workforce going forward and improving our technology infrastructure.
How often are you seeing cryptocurrencies being used to avoid sanctions?
Senator, we recently put out a report just last week highlighting the use of cryptocurrencies in ransomware to the tune of several $100 million of collections through cryptocurrencies. We recognize that a number of actors who seek to impact our national security are using cryptocurrencies to try and get around our sanctions regimes. In terms of a quantifiable number, we know it's more than several $100 million, and our goal has got to be to try and identify those where it exists and to stop it using the tools that Congress has provided us.
So from your perspective, do you think the cryptocurrency should be a regulated market in a way that's similar to our conventional monetary system?
So, Senator, from my perspective, one of the things that we've benefited from a great deal in the United States is innovation. Innovation has helped drive our economy, and financial innovation has done that. But it's important that as we think about those innovations, we also have a regulatory regime that protects consumers and protects our national security. We're going to need to use the tools like the BSA and AML laws to make sure that we're protecting our national security, but there's also going to be a need to work with Congress to decide on whether we need additional tools in this space as well.
Okay. Last question. You talked about reserve currency quickly, and you talked about the fact that we have it and we're probably not going to lose it. I have a little different perspective, but I want to hear yours. Could you tell me what impact defaulting on the debt might have on our status as reserve currency and the uncertainty that might create?
Senator, as Secretary Yellen has said, a default on the U.S. debt would be catastrophic from the standpoint of our credibility, not only to our creditors, but our credibility in the world, and would have a clear impact on people's trustworthiness in the United States and our ability to meet our commitments.
And so you would see that as a giant step in the wrong direction as far as maintaining our reserve currency status?
Yes, Senator. Ultimately, the reason that the United States dollar is the reserve currency in the world is because people trust the United States economy. They have confidence in the investments and the decisions that we make.
Yeah.
And if we were to not pay our bills on time, it would send ricochets through those people who have confidence in our economy.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Tester. Senator Scott is recognized.